Hi, my name is Michaela, and this is one of my theory competency videos. So for this video, I chose to do the communication accommodation theory. Um, so just to start out, let me just go through the outline of the core ideas. Um, so for the communication accommodation theory, basically this theory is how humans will adapt how they talk or how they have do nonverbals toward each other, and how they adapt to one another to fit in. So what this means is, a good example of this would be when I moved to West Texas. I'm from Dallas, and I do have a little bit of an accent, but whenever I moved to West Texas in Lubbock, everyone had a crazy Western accent. And without, subconsciously, I would start to have more of a country twang added in to my speech and dialogue. And I wouldn't even notice it until I would come home for winter or for summer, and all my hometown friends are like, "Are you a country hick now? Like, what's happening? You never used to speak like this." And I guess I just subconsciously started doing that because I wanted to fit in freshman year. Everyone wants to fit in. Sorry, my hair's crazy, and I'm leave tomorrow morning for a trip at 3 a.m., so bear with me. So yeah, that's a great example of the communication accommodation theory. Another little outline, is that this theory really links language, context, and identity. It's very linked to the social identity theory as well. That's a good basis to remember too. Another big thing that is a core idea in this is the convergence and divergence of communication behavior. So convergence is basically how people adapt to one another to reduce or minimize cultural or social cultural differences. So they are the same. They fit in, basically. Divergence is basically they over accentuate, I guess you could say, their nonverbals or their verbals or both, to make sure everyone knows that there is a difference between them or the other. So a key theorists and influences, the only one I could really find was the key theorist that I guess created this theory. His name is Howard Giles. He was born in December 12th, or on December 12th, 1946. He is a British American. He's a sociolinguist. And right now, or I guess in the more in the present, he is actually the professor of communication at the University of California in Santa Barbara. Fun fact, he was born in Cardiff, Wales. He also earned his BA in psychology and his PhD in social psychology. So moving on, theoretical orientation of the theory. So I spent a lot of time thinking about the orientation, and to me, to determine that, it was one key thing that just kept coming up in this theory, and anything else that was connected to it. And so, honestly, I think the orientation of this theory is solely focused on the dynamics of speech, primarily, and how we as humans adapt for and to each other to fit in or accommodate. I mean, everyone wants to fit in, especially if you're outnumbered in your social, cultural, like verbal, like, quote, what am I saying? In your culture as well. So like there's culture, and then there's subcultures, and whenever these subcultures find each other, they subconsciously feel as if they're the outsider because they want to fit in, they want to be accepted. Everyone wants to be accepted, so most anyone will do anything to have that acceptance and reassurance in their life. So some critiques of this. The critiques I found were if people were being too accommodating, it could be taken as like you were being fake or being very, very sarcastic. I've also read that it hasn't been tested that much, or it can't be because it's not, like, this theory isn't as in-depth as real speech or dialects are. Like our speech is very, very diverse, and it's not as simple as this theory makes it out to be. So that is what I did. Thank you so much. Have a great night.